Well, I think things have not been going great, as you can see. Last time I was talking about the climb up from here to here, and now I'm gonna talk the climb, if you in quotation marks, from here to here. This one is gonna be a lot shorter though. There isn't really that much to talk about. So yeah, as you probably know, the Volibear and the Collie nerfs they have hit me pretty hard. Although to be honest, I think there was like only one game actually since that when I actually tried to play Volibear, and I never got to figure it out how good or bad it is because I don't see it in my games, which should give me kind of an inclination towards whether or not this comp is good or not after the nerfs. Doesn't seem very good overall, like in stats, because I looked and I'm thinking, oh, I look at the 4.40 something, 48 maybe. I know it's not that bad, and I look at the other forecasts and I go, it's almost the worst one. So I guess it doesn't really matter the number if it's by in a vacuum, if it doesn't even look that terrible, it's still pretty terrible. Anyway, that's not really the point. I never even got to try it out properly. So yeah, it's been an absolute disaster. You can see the tags are very funny, flexible, 40% likelihood of playing the same unit. Because it doesn't matter because you can be flexible with any comp. Like you can just go 8 with any comps. Like I don't really need to stick to one. Crystal Gambit Enjoyer, it was mainly get a Crystal Gambit spot, and I lost streak the whole game, and then I had one or two fight wins, and then I lost anyway to someone who was stronger. So, and then I died, and I'm at 7th or 8th, mostly 8. Strong frontline, I don't really know if it like means anything, because I'm just putting, like, it's not really an upside or anything. First or 8. Placed first or 8 in 8 of the next 20 games. I mean, let's look at the first or 8. I have 2 firsts and 6 eights. So it's like more or 8 or 8. So there's that. Cold streak. It is super cold. It is insanely cold streak, as you can see. Passive. Yeah. Prefers 80 for what it's worth. Again, doesn't really matter. Pacifist. Eliminate 0.4 players per game. And chain losses. Has a 67% chance to base bottom 4 again. So yeah, like this whole losing streak, it's more, so it's like not entirely the patch. So I'm like, I got LP inflated with the Volibear, but not all of the LP that I lost is due to me being just inflated. More, like it's like, I think it's like a half and half. Like half of it due to being inflated in LP by the Volibear stuff, but the other half is just me being tilted out of my absolute mind. Like I was losing it yesterday. That's pretty rough. So then, like for example, you get a bad game, and then the bad game follows you to the next one, even though the game is over. I wasn't really good at that, just closing it off and resetting for the next game, and that ended in me like chain losing a lot. And it's like after like 2 games, then like I get like a good game, and I come back a little bit, and then I lose. Like okay, it was kind of close, not really. Next game, and then I'm just tilted out of my mind. I just go turbo 8. Like here, it was a wonderful 7-8-8. So you see, there's like a really big falls here, and here's where I just felt like I was kind of climbing back a little bit up, right? Like there was like a 1-2 here that I was able to get back, and I thought, hey, maybe I'm just gonna play one more. I have enough time, so I stay in challenger, and then yeah, and then I went 8-8-7-5, and then this one is 4. Let's get to the matches just a little bit, but like I said, not really as a full run through like earlier. Like where did they start? 6.5 here, and I started with an 8. And then I got a second, playing the same exact comp, but like it's like a different tempo, and obviously I had a lot more resources back then. Like with that one, and then 5th here. Prodigy, I don't know. It's just a classic. You feel like you have a good spot, but then you're like stuck there on 8, and you roll some, and you don't hit your upgrades, and then you're like, okay, well, if I stay on 8 and I roll down, I probably I lose to everyone. But if I go 9 and I put in Seraphine and I have 5 Prodigy, I still lose to everyone. So that's what happened there. Here I tried to do the Udyr stuff because I thought it would be like kind of okay to get the items, but then I just never beat anyone. This one was like Crystal Gambit disaster. As you can see, I managed to like get like the Zyra because it's basically I managed to get the emblem, and then the whole rest of the game is just me trying to desperately find my Ash 2, which is pretty hard with all the Udyr stuff, and also Zyra so I can put in 7. But even if I put in 7, right, like there's always someone who's just strong enough to kill you anyway before you could stack up some resources. No real upgrades here because Odir is super contested. Swain, I guess, was also pretty contested. Or maybe I just didn't hit it. I mean, like Swain here, Swain here, Swain here. Yeah, obviously they didn't have everything when I was eliminated, but still. Here, I just ended up with a Jane Luchador Emblem, you know, that kind of stuff. But then I could not beat the Jace Caitlyn player or the Stork player. So that was that. Into the Sork, I guess I limped my way into a fourth, even though I thought that I had a decent spot. Uncontested. I guess it's still only a fourth. Yeah, it's fourth, which is like the best I'm getting these days. This one again started out with Star Guardian. Augment. Yeah, I just played what I was given. Obviously I was uncontested, but I rolled down a bunch and I was stuck on Jinx 1, Poppy 1. So that was pretty sad. Eventually I hit and I limped into a fourth place. Yep. This one I don't even know. I was quite upset here. There was another Prodigy player who had like Malzahar 3. So I was stuck on Malzahar 1. Didn't really do much, but I guess we got like eliminated in the same round anyway. I'm stuck here on Yumi 1. I took the one that the thing that gives you two star forecast instead of a 1 star when you click on it. And I thought that I could, just grab the Leona and I could go to 9. And I got to 9 and I'm like, I hit the Seraphine too, but it doesn't do anything. I thought that maybe it would be better to have like, items on a Seraphine 2 instead of Malzahar 1, but I think that was wrong. I'm pretty sure I got weaker. I may have even gotten an extra placement if I just kept the Malzahar 1 with the items, because obviously Void Staff, Morello doesn't really activate anything until the Seraphine ult, and then by that time the fight is already over. So that was that. This one was the fight when I was like, really trying to see how good the Volibear was. But then I was like rolling, and like obviously my board, the reason my board looks so terrible is that I sold my 2 stars. Like I was at the end of my ropes. I sold my 2 stars, picked up the 1 star copies just to get like 1 or 2 extra rolls. Like maybe I can hit the Volibear too, but it did not happen. So what happened this game? That was someone else who had just had a Volibear, just random Volibear. I guess not random Volibear. It's more like some mix of the Luchador package and then the Juggernaut Mundo. Like 4 Juggernaut, 5 Juggernaut, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's 6 Juggernaut Ash with Volibear Braum. So that was rough. That obviously made it harder, but I still think I rolled so much. So I should have been able to find it, but I didn't. So it's like rough. Also, this game I took the Grand Slam because like Grand Slam I guess was just, it looked kind of playable because Volibear was strong. But now that Volibear is weaker, the Grand Slam is just basically just Volibear just jumps in, gets targeted, and then the Edge of Night procs, and then the Volibear is still there because it doesn't have the damage to jump away and get the reset. Maybe if it was like 2 star, maybe it would be like playable, but on 1 star it's definitely unplayable. Because you just jumped in, aggro swapped off, But then Volibear just got targeted again and just got absolutely rolled. So I was basically losing every single fight. I was losing my mind trying to find the Volibear. So the last fight, like right before I FF'd, I would have lost the next round and got eliminated anyway. So I didn't lose a placement or anything for FFing there. But before I was FFing, I question mark pinged my Volibear like 10 million times, so everyone knows that I am having a meltdown. And then I FF'd. It is very important to let your opponents know that you are not doing fine and then you have a mental breakdown. Yeah, obviously not. Obviously, you probably shouldn't show weakness, but sometimes things just get to you. And as you can see, things indeed got to me because then I went 8 on the next fight. This one, I was also very annoyed. I remember this game. I had I think a pretty decent ish like good start, and then from there I was like thinking, okay, I can collect the Ash items, and I was really struggling because as you can see, I had no Rage Blade, which I guess is not that bad because you're playing 6 duelists anyway, so that's acceptable. But I also didn't have a Kraken, so I took the lucky chest thingy, the augment that gives you 5 gold, a remover, and the lucky item chest. And I used it on the Ash, and I got no Kraken or no Rage Blade. So I was kind of doomed. And then I just, as you can probably imagine, I just lost to everyone again. Yup. So that was an 8. And then another 8 here. Okay, this one was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Even though obviously I went dead last. But it was interesting because I think I had a Frost Gambit start. I think this one was I think this one was the loot sub. So we started with the belt and I had what Frost Gambit start here, right? I had this at the start. Obviously 1 star. I had at the start, so I was freaking. It was streaking the first 3. I also had the calculated loss augment. So I was just sitting there. Crystal Gambit start, calculated loss, just lose streaking very early. And then what happened is that obviously I doubled down the second one. I tried to see if there's a possible spat on the carousel, and then I could just go for earlier 7 crystal and put it out. But what happened is that I took the 6 loss, and then it asks you again right before you pick the augment for stage 3. It asks you if you wanna double down, or if you wanna open it. And I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna open it now, because from here on I'm just gonna try to play for win, or winning fights or killing units, so I'm not 0 HP at the end of stage 3. So with that line of thought, I cashed out, which was 7 gold. So it was basically nothing, just a little bit of gold. And then right after I did that, I clicked the gold destiny, and it gave me golden quest. And I'm sitting there okay, great. Now I have to, now I have to sack until I have 165 gold before I can get to play the game. But still, and I cashed out my Crystal Gambit, which if I knew that I would not be able to, play for the rest of the game until 165 gold, and then I wouldn't have cashed out. It's and obviously in hindsight, and I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, anyways, I just ended up losing basically up until PvE, and by that time I had 17 HP. And then that's when I got the cash out, and I got the Varus here. And in the meantime, I was able to. Oh yeah, I think yeah. So as you can see, in the end, I was just rolling down desperately. 90 gold or something on 8, because I was level 6, obviously 160 something gold, and then I had to push 2 levels quickly, bump into the XP, and then I was rolling down like a maniac. And that was a very weak round that I was barely able to win, and that was kind of stabilizing. But as you can see, I have found absolutely no ashes, and obviously I also didn't find Zyra. This is what I ended up playing with. I had these upgrades, Just threw the items there. I was that, but then I thought I was like a little bit stable, but then I lost the Stegzor with the Soul Fighter stuff, and went down to 6 HP, and then from there it's just one bad round. So the kind I ended up getting stuck on 8, just rolling, didn't really find anything. I was considering that maybe I like one of the items maybe could be restolen, then my Varus is not that vulnerable, but I don't think it. I think it will just lower my DPS for no reason. So yeah, this is a board that I ended up dying with. I was pretty sad. So here, as you can see, it's a wonderful 6, 7, 8 streak. I went down below 400 HP, and then finally I got Luden start. So I'm thinking, yeah, from the artifact stuff, I just popped the Ludens. I'm just playing Ari, and then with a bunch of positioning, because I was losing a bunch. Because I thought, hey, I don't have to super hard go for the killer instinct. Just like pick up some other strong power ups. If I'm not getting killer instinct, then it should be fine. I was losing a bunch of fights, so I just thought, hey, I'm just gonna have to do the thing, and I was looking for killer instinct until I luckily found it, and then move the Ari accordingly up to the second row where you can snipe the backline, and then that was able to get me. I was able to get me to win finally. It was also sponging, which is why so I had like sponging, and I also had the thingy, the when anything holds. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's like obviously the reason why I'm explaining everything out like 1-1-1, because only one item units get the extra item from sponging, which is like, I guess at this point it's not entirely optimal because there's like 7 units and then only 6 of them can get something. So there was like 1 that was left out. I just tried to maximize the efficiency of the items and the augments. So that happened there, and then there was a Kaisa game. I think this one was the one where I hit the mentor stuff when you get the bonus regardless of how many mentors you have. And I was doing fine for quite a while, but then I lost to this. I lost to the Jace stuff. I thought that, hey, maybe I'm kind of chilling this one, and then as you can see, I was not chilling. I went 8 turbo 8 again. I had, so the worst thing is here is that one, I got Nico Lulu drop on stage 1. So I thought, hey, surely that means that it's my turn to play Smolder Prot. But the thing is that by the end of stage 3, I was still stuck on Smolder 1, Nico 1, and I was almost dead already. So yeah, never really quite panned out. But the really rough part is that I also got a bunch of Kaisas in my shop over time. But I was like, when on the first or second Kaisa, you're thinking, okay, hey, but I already have the Smolder, and I've started, pushing up the trainer levels, and then I'm also kind of losing out on not being able to stack Kaisa from like a beginning. So I was thinking, okay, hey, I'm just gonna stick to the Smolder, and then it will be fine. It was not fine, and I skipped a million Kaisas. So as you can see, like there's the entire lobby, there was not a Kaisa reroll, there was only that one singular Kaisa in 6th place. So yeah, obviously hindsight. The worst case, it's not even just hindsight, it was just probably the right call regardless. If I get like an early enough Kaisa and then no one's playing Kaisa reroll, then I could just, swap over, because it's pretty painless overall. And the best case is if I really wanted to, I could just, even have Ramos, right? Because I already have the Smolder, I can just, swap it out and get rid of the Nico, and then I do the Ramos variant of the front line. Especially because if there's like a mentor over here. But yeah, I did not do that. I just stuck to this, and then I died. And at the next one again, I thought it would be fine, and it was not fine. I got to the position where I was just like, I don't even know what I was thinking here, to be honest. I seem to remember as if I had a decent shot of, finding finding a 6, but then I see that I don't have an emblem at the emblem bench. I don't kind of confused what I was thinking, because like if I don't have an emblem, then I can't go 7 even if I find a Zyra. But I recall myself rolling desperately for a Zyra. So yeah, I don't know what happened there. Whatever, another 8, another 7th here. I don't know. This one was also a very frustrating game because I'm fighting. For example, I'm fighting this level 9. It's 4-3. I'm fighting level 9 has Leona 2 itemized, Yumi 2 itemized, and also has Seraphine. I'm fighting level 9 and I'm level 6, and I'm sitting there rolling and thinking, oh boy, I sure hope that I can soon activate my starship. I sure hope I can finally hit my Shen 3 on 4-3, so I can actually get to play the game and my trait actually does something. But no, it was a very annoying game again. Like I don't know why it took so long to hit. So that's that. Another 7th. As a 5th here. I was like pretty strong for a while. I was playing around the Kai'Sa a little bit earlier, but then I see there's like a reroller, and I had a very early set there, so I thought that hey, maybe that can be something. And I got a 5th. I don't know what the heck happened there. Why it was a 5th, or why am I losing out to Star Guardian of all things? But yeah, the vertical stuff. Oh, the Luchador emblem came like right before I got eliminated. Doesn't really matter. And this one was I hit the mentor augment. Like I basically hit almost anything I could. This one was just, I guess, just some leftover extra. Oh yeah, I was running the the Colossus there, which is like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units is actually they can only go on level 9. I guess I didn't really care about it because like on level 8 you can just have a level 7 board basically, like the 4 mentor, 8 rocks, a Jarvan, and GP. So yeah, the classic board. And all that, and obviously stretchy arms on the thingy, and all this was barely, very very barely enough to squeak by in a 4th place. So yeah, it's pretty dead. The GP comp is pretty dead, and that was it. That was the story. That was the story of how I went from 625 to 250, or even 240, depending on which one you prefer. Yeah, a bunch of 8s, bunch of trying to do some Crystal Gambit stuff and never, never quite being stable enough. I don't know. Like even if I have an emblem and I know that I need to do save, I need to do win streak, or I need to be saving up HP to even have a chance of getting to the Zyra, it's not that easy. It's not that easy, huh? You just even if you know that you need to win fights, it won't happen just because you want to win the fight. If it did, then everyone would be rank 1 at the same time, which is obviously not possible. Anyway, that was it. You could say that my overinflated LP came down. You could also say that I got super tilted. That would be also true. So yeah, I don't know. But I've managed to cut off, so I guess nothing else really matters. But yeah, this is very, very ugly. This, and then basically everything. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what comes next. Maybe I can find an angle to get back into the game again. Alright, that was it. I'm out of here. I might play TFT after this. Maybe not. Who knows? Alright. Bye bye.